Before we go on the floor, we're going to hear from a sponsor of an amendment to H2, and we welcome Representative McGuire to the witness chair. If you can explain the amendment. Thank you for being here, Eric.
For the record, Representative Eric McGuire, Rutland City and Human Services Committee. Thank you very much, Chair. Thank you very much for the committee for allowing me the opportunity just to present this very straightforward amendment to H2. Everybody have a chance to take a peek at it or copy of it?
And I forgot to go grab it.
But just one copy for you? Or?
No, there's copies.
The amendment in a nutshell, just to go through it very briefly. First, by striking sections 5 through 11 and their reader assistance headings in their entirety. The second, by inserting a new section 5 and reader assistance heading to read as follows. And that'll be articulated on. And the main reason behind presenting this amendment is really a couple of steps in regards to it. One, to raise the age to 18 for use to be subject to juvenile proceedings in the family division. That step went into effect in 2022 and remains in law to this day. Step 2, to raise the age, was to extend even further to add 19-year-olds to jurisdiction of the family division. Another piece of step 2 was originally slated to go into effect in 2022, but the effective date has been delayed several times by the legislation and is scheduled to go into effect in just under 3 weeks on April 1st. So my amendment proposes to preserve steps 1, so 18-year-olds remain in the family division, and to sunset step 2, so 19-year-olds remain where they currently are in criminal division. Pure and simply, this is not a repeal of the raise the age. Doing so would be unconstitutional, as 18-year-olds have already benefited from the original law passed. What this does is sunset a piece of the original bill that has already been delayed by the legislation for what will be now the third time. And just to the bare bones, Chair, it's common sense and it's a bipartisan. That's all it comes down to.
So who's sponsoring the amendment?
I'm sponsoring the amendment.
Okay, you said it was bipartisan. I'm sorry.
Well, if we put it on out, I believe this is a bipartisan amendment. I believe there are individuals that are out there on the floor that would support this amendment.
Whether the actual amendment had other folks.
Yeah.
No. Any comments on your questions from folks? Any questions or comments? Well, so we've been working on this a long time, and obviously, and I think that we're presenting. We've heard good testimony that there's a lot of support for the concept of raising the age further to 19-year-olds, but simply we're not ready now, and there's things that have to be put in place. As recently as last year, the administration proposed actually not getting rid of 19 entirely, but saying get rid of the 19, the next step until certain things occurred. So we gave them more time till April 1st with reporting requirements, but they're still pretty clear not ready to go on April 1st. But the actual support for the concept is still there. And rather than just taking the 19-year-olds off the table for this, having a pretty significant runway, not that we like airplane for airport analogies around here, but having a significant amount of time to get the other things in order, including our ability to try to address the accountability issues that we've started to try to address, I think is the right approach to make sure that we still have that ultimate goal of moving to 19, given how much support we've received, including over the past year significantly from the Department of Children and Families, who has jurisdiction over this. So given all that, I would take a motion to find this amendment unfavorable. Second. And any additional discussion?
I think I'll just offer, Zach. Thank you, Chair. I'll just offer, well, one, Maguire, thank you for coming in, and I appreciate you proposing this, because I do think one of the challenges that the committee had was trying to find some common ground and some compromise on H2. And I think one of the things that this amendment tries to do is really tries to find that middle ground, I think, between all of us around the table. I think another unintended benefit of this amendment, at least at first blush, is considering that future legislatures and future governors would have the right and the ability to revisit raise the age and do whatever they like. But I think one of the things that we have considered, and one of the things that we're aware of with all the testimony that we have received on this piece of legislation, is that the system is bursting at the seams. And I think one of the concerns that we have is that many have, not only here in the legislature, but also our constituents across the state, is that and again, I don't think that this is an accountability measure. It's not a repeal measure. I think one of the things that is very interesting to me is really protecting DCF and the workers there, and really hearing and validating their concerns that the current situation at 18 is totally untenable. Adding 19 would be an increased burden on them and their workers. And I mean, for obvious reasons, I am fully supportive of this amendment. And I think I would imagine that it will also have bipartisan support on the floor, which I think is a great testament to finding really common ground legislation that we can all support.
So I mean, I would only say that the compromise here is that this would go into effect on April 1st. And there's a lot of people who still think it should go in effect on April 1st. There are people that have testified who think that, in fact, if it goes into place April 1st, we'll figure out how to make it work, because it will be there. Compromise and what the administration came forward with is not having, I would call it a repeal of the the next step of raise the age. This is a compromise. This is a compromise in putting out extended a period of time, and it will allow the next legislature in the next biennium to determine what it wants to do, and it gives them the first full session of that legislature. So, but it does keep our eye on the ball of wanting to raise the age, given how much support there has been for it. So, any other discussion? Not seeing any. All those in favor of finding this unfavorable, please raise your hand. Count 6. Those finding it unfavorable, please raise your hand. And that's 4. All right.
Wait,
Favorable.
sorry. Wait,
Yeah, you found it favorable. So 6 found it unfavorable, 4 found it favorable.
I just wanted to make sure I voted.
Yes. No,
Right.
that's right. So thank you very much, Eric.
Thank you.
Good thing to be bringing up. This has been an ongoing discussion in this committee. But I really appreciate it.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.